Welcome back to Four Faces. Today we're going to talk about that Haney and that Garcia and what is exactly happening with those steroid drugs. Let's just talk about that. So we all know by now, if you didn't hear, let me just tell you real quick. Ryan Garcia, he's got to pay a fine of $10,000. He also got to give some of that purse bid money over. I think it's about 1.5. He lose a million. He got to give up that. And in addition to that, he can't fight for at least 1 year. With that being said, the 1 year thing, probably not a really big thing. He already fought once this year. He just won't be fighting a second fight. But nevertheless, he could pick that up next year if he really wanted to fight. The money, he made a lot of money, millions of dollars off the Tank fight, so he's going to be good with that. Haney, on the other hand, is a no contest, which means that Haney got no L and Ryan don't get no L neither. It's kind of like neutralized, but it really didn't matter because Ryan didn't get a title and Haney never lost a title, so it is what it is. But what's never going to change is that video out there, those videos, plural, of Haney getting dropped multiple times, swelled face, and all. So let's get to the real issue, though, about this whole thing, since it is about the steroids. Here's the thing. A lot of people, or YouTubers, is not mentioning something really critical about this. If you go to the athletic club, a commissioner, and you see what really was said, they said it was an amount of picogram, the amount that was determined to be found from Ryan. It said picograms. Do people understand what a picogram is? It's 10 to the minus 12. Now, I remember this because when I was in college, I was doing, electromechanics and also the medical, dealing with milligrams, and I was doing biology and all this type of stuff. We use a lot of these terminology, a lot of these prefixes, right? We talk about milli, we talk about nano, we talk about giga and tega, all those type of terminologies, right? And nano is like to the minus 9, but pico is to the minus 12, right? Milli is like minus 3. So that is small amount. Let me just show you, try to give you, some references here. And I want to talk about why I'm emphasizing on this. So think about this. Minus 12, that's 0.0000000. That's like 12 zeros. 0.000. Like, it's an insignificant amount. It is so small that you, me, the average person, don't have a scale to weigh something like that. That's how small it is. That's how much weight is. That's how small the weight is. It's almost insignificant. However, with that being said, it still is unacceptable in the sport. I get that. But when you think about it, let me just give you another visual how small that is. Think about it this way. You got a regular size salt, right? You got the size salt that you buy at the supermarket, that sea salt to put on your French fries, your chicken wings, whatever it may be, whatever you eat, right? And you got this container of salt. You've seen it, right? Sea salt, whatever. Iodine, right? And then you take out a couple of grains from that. Take out, like say, 100 grains from that. If I took out 100 grains from that, I'm talking about little piece of grains. If I ate those 100 grains of salt, which means it's really insignificant, I could probably put in little fingers, whatever. Will I get high blood pressure from that? Of course I won't. I will not. The same thing with the notion of Ryan getting caught with steroids in the terms of minus 12 pico, I'm talking about picograms, which means it's insignificant amount to give him some supernatural powers. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to do that for him. If anything, the reason or a contributor to Ryan winning is more about the weight that he had, the 3 pounds, the extra weight he had over Haney. That's more than anything. Also, Ryan's left hook. Haney did not stop the left hook. He had no answers. His father, who was his trainer, also had no answer. Mayweather also brought that out and said, if you look at Mayweather video, they talked with Marcy City. He was talking about why was Haney going like this, pulling his hand back to punch. Like he said, you do that as an amateur. So it is a lot of fact. And also, Haney can't take a punch. He can't. He got hit on the jaw and he dropped multiple times. So we want to blame, people want to blame the steroids that's in such an insignificant amount. Like I said again, pico, it said picograms, which means minus 12. It's such a small, insignificant amount that it will not give Ryan some superhuman powers. And let me just prove that point again. How many rounds did they go? They finished the whole fight. They went all the rounds. All the rounds. So I don't think that was the reason. If anything, you could say, well, the contributing factors was, first of all, Ryan came in 3 pounds heavier. Haney could have said, I don't want it. He didn't do that, right? He could have said, that's too much weight. We ain't doing it, right? But Haney's willing to accept have Ryan pay him some money. Remember that, right? However, it's 3 pounds, nonetheless, right? Then, on top of that, Ryan got what? He's got the left hook. The last person Ryan fought, he knocked him out with what? The left hook. How many knockouts did Ryan get? Ryan knockout ratio, percentage I should say, is over 80%. So it's not like, people are putting like Ryan never knocked nobody out. Like he don't have the power to knock someone out. Ryan had the power to knock people out. So what are we saying here? That amount, let me tell you something. That trace amount, that picogram, I just got to emphasize that picogram amount is not enough to give him superhuman powers. You would literally have to take that at least in the milligrams, and you have to take even that per day or every other day. You have to take that frequently. You can't just take that one day and that, oh my gosh, he's a superhero now. No, the amount that he took, I do believe, Ryan, in the sense that the amount that he took is probably could be due to anything. Could be supplements, that's possible. It could be someone made a smoothie for him. They could be making smoothies and shakes for him and adding in powder, some protein shake powder, some vitamins in there, whatever. And that's a possibility too. You get what I'm saying? So I don't believe that he was taking something intentionally to win, because if he really wanted to win, you're going to need more than picograms. You're going to need milligrams. And you're probably going to even need that to take it more frequently. You get what I'm saying? Like, think about that. I think that this is it's a disservice that everybody wants to help Haney. Not everybody. Most people help him and say, oh, look, he cheated. He didn't cheat in that sense, because that left hook kept connecting on Haney's face. Right? And Haney did win some rounds. How about that one? If he was such a superhero, why didn't Ryan just knock him out the first round? Why didn't he just end the fight right away? They went the whole round. They went all of them. Think about that. So I find that this is very peculiar, very silly, very stupid for people to keep saying, oh, he cheated. The amount, I just want to leave you with this message. And you go check it out yourself. Go to the commissioner. You go listen to him. Not listen, but you can read it for yourself, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. It said picograms. Picograms, once again, it's to the minus 12. That's a small, insignificant amount. And then they say, I just want to make sure I get this out the way. Oh, it's 60 times the required amount. Well, I say this again. I'm gonna go back to my other analogy. Again, if I take 3 grams of salt, if I say to you, Ron, you ain't gonna have 3 grams of salt. That's it, just 3 grams. Let me make that even better. 3 grains of salt. You only can take 3 grains of salt. I said, okay, fine, I'm gonna take 3 grains of salt. But I say, you know what? I'm gonna take 100 grains. I'm just gonna take the 100 grains just one time. So then I take 100 grains. Each individual salt. Do I get high blood pressure at this time? No, I do not. I won't get high blood pressure if I took 100 grains of salt. I will not. I'll have to take it multiple times over a period of time in order to get high blood pressure. The same thing here. When you're talking about picograms, You have to take it more. You literally have to take it in the milligrams in order to really get any type of effect of the steroid. And you know what I'm saying? And again, you don't have to believe me. Do your own research and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Because I was like, and the reason why I bring this up, like I said before, I remember me in college, like, hold up, Pico, I keep hearing Pico, so I look it up. I ask my AI pen, my main pen, these questions. I start throwing questions back and forth with it. And I'm like, yeah, what are we talking about? Like, that's not enough to cause Ryan to be a superhuman. And on top of that, he went all rounds. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, Ryan has always had a knockout left hook. Even Tank said it. He said, if once I neutralize your left hook, what can you do? And that's what he did. Even Tank was aware that Ryan had a good left hook. So why are we putting it as, oh, Ryan not a knockout? The only person who can knock someone out is Haney. When the last time Haney knocked somebody out? Think about it. Haney's knockout percent is so low. I believe it's under 50%. Like, think about that. So, think about that, right? So that's all I want to say. This is Four Faces. We just want to bring that out there. I want to bring it to you guys because I just want to make sure we're clear about what's going on here. And I'm just trying to show you that the steroids really had nothing to do with Ryan's win. Yes, the reason why they're saying that, okay, he's going to get fined and all that, because you can't have it in your system at all. It's about not having it at all. It's like saying you going like you get a DUI with just basically one can of beer. Are most people drunk with one can of beer? No, most people can handle one can of beer, especially if you've been drinking that often. But nevertheless, one can of beer is more than enough. Same thing with your water supply. In your water supply, a lot of people should know that the government allows a certain amount of arsenic in your water supply, allows a certain amount of toxicities in your water supply. They say, well, based on 100 per million, whatever, we allow, that's acceptable levels. And it's the same thing here. Unfortunately for Ryan, you can't have basically almost nothing in your blood pertaining to steroids. Pretty much nothing. But just because he had 12 picograms, he had, I forgot exactly what number of picograms, doesn't mean he became Superman, right? You get what I'm saying? There's always allowance of something in it. Even in the air that you breathe, right, have toxic gases and fumes, right? However, the government is like, it's okay. Same thing with lead. Certain amount of, you should have no lead, but there is lead in people's water supply, whether you realize it or not, because a lot of pipe work going to your house, especially the older houses, like based on, your house is old, 100 years old, 80 or plus years old, you probably got lead pipes somewhere coming to your house, unless the city, state dug it all up. But even then, the pipes leading from your house to the street, it could be lead. You get what I'm saying? So we have to be very careful in saying that, oh, Ryan, and I'm not taking up for Ryan, like, oh, he's a bad guy, I'm a good guy. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just trying to make you understand that don't take on the narrative that because Ryan had steroids in his blood, that all of a sudden he became Superman, and that's why he beat Haney. That is just a false narrative. The reason why he was able to beat Haney, at least in my humble and honest opinion, is because the left, Haney could not stop that left. He had no answer for it. His coach, which is his father, should have told him what to do. He didn't give him no good advice. Third, a couple other things is the weight. The 3 pounds played more of a weight because it gave him that booster. It made him feel more comfortable. Whereas Haney had to do what? He had to weight drain to get to that weight. So those are much more huge a factor, if anything, that had to do with Haney taking that loss. Okay, with that being said, this is Four Faces. We like to come up here. We like to talk to you guys about these things. Subscribe. This is sports. Yo, you know what? We'll talk.